Hello and good evening to you all. Greetings from um, a less rainy Saint Tropez, south of France um, area. And I hope that some of you are able to watch. We are starting earlier as I feel the need to do this myself, do it earlier today. So there are various topics to talk about, and I'm saying good evening to Paulie and Empress and Bernadette, Susie Ashenden and Busted One, as opposed to Busted Two, whoever Busted Two may be. Joe McIntyre and Rue, hello to you all, and hello to Nicola Campbell Brisland, and hello to Kaz and Empress Videos, and Heidi Crimmins and Elaine Harvey and Rachel Jones. So lots of you coming in early. So I say cheers to you. The lady in the background I have instructed must not do any snoring. If she wishes to sit here, the snoring will not be allowed. Snoring is boring. We will not be having snoring on this channel. We'll leave that to other channels. Other channels are available. They are very welcome to welcome snorers. And I don't like schnorrers which is a word that describes mean people in a certain faith either. So no, we don't like schnorrers. They're boring snorers because they're also borers. So there we go. I don't need interruptions in the background from anybody. Otherwise, I will be stopping the program to get rid of the person in the background. It is completely ridiculous that I'm being interrupted already when I've made it very clear that I do not want interruptions. Please, will you stop interrupting my program? Otherwise, I will stop my program. You are ruining my program by interrupting my program. Stop it. Absolutely outrageous interruption from the beginning.
How dare you
from
speak
someone
to me? Speak about my snoring.
This is too much. I do not need to be interrupted on my own program by this woman. Some of you will think this is comedy gold, but please stop. You're ruining my program. You are live, you are on air, and you're being heard by all of these people.
I know, but how dare you speak to me about snoring?
Well, please stop it. I've asked you not to do this.
Why?
Please don't do it.
To me about snoring.
Please stop. Please sit there quietly if you wish to join in. If you wish to join in, you can join in and interact, but we don't want the snoring. Thank you very much. Please, let's move along. There we go. Put her in the cupboard. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Lee James. That's probably the best thing to do. Tell her to go somewhere else and do her snoring. Tell her to bog off. Well, yes. Rue says Min is currently awake and clearly not snoring. So please, Min, stay awake. If you wish to stay awake, you wish to stay welcome in the room. But if you wish to interrupt the program, you've now become part of the program and you're part of the comedy gold because, frankly, it is ridiculous. Anyway, so I would rather talk about something I actually care about rather than some silly woman who does snoring. I would rather talk about the lovely, late, great Tara Palmer-Tompkinson. And it was 9 years ago today I last saw her, and then she died. And I want to remember the memory of the lovely, late, great Tara Palmer-Tompkinson, a kindly, decent woman, the clear opposite of the other it girls, the twit girls, the likes of Lady Victoria Harvey, who Tara did not like. Tara was a decent, wonderful, kind-hearted lady with a lovely spirit, and it was so sad that she died. I am very sad that I saw this memory today of me 9 years ago at Theo Fennell's party with the lovely Barbara Minto, Claire Rubenstein, and Jackie Roth, and many other people. We were all there at this lovely party, and Tara Palmer-Tompkinson was delightful, and Barbara Minto got on very well, particularly with Tara. And Barbara Minto was in the first class of women at Harvard Business School, first woman to work for McKinsey Consulting, and Tara actually read her book. So Tara was not a dim-witted, deranged dunce like many of these other twit girls. Tara was a wonderful lady, and I'm so sad that she's not with us still, because she added joy and warmth and kindness to the world. And I love people who are kind-hearted and decent. And Tara Palmer-Tompkinson was one of those people. Absolute joy to behold. And it's very sad that I saw this picture, because I felt very sad this morning when I looked at it and thought 9 years ago today. We didn't know what was going to come, and there was nothing that could be done. But she tragically died at her apartment in Earls Court, and that was the end of that. But she was a good-hearted, kind-hearted, lovely person. So let's remember good people as much as we denigrate the bad people. Tara Palmer-Tompkinson, a superb human being, somebody who should have lived to a grand old age, who sadly didn't. And I truly will say that again and again. But it came up today, a memory of how I was with her 9 years ago today. So it made me feel rather sad. But there we are. So, right, we shall move on to another topic. And the next topic is a program that is, I believe, being shown at 9 o'clock in Britain tonight, called The Met. Now, obviously, I can't watch the program because I'm in France, so I cannot watch this program. It's called The Met. It's on BBC One at 9 o'clock. The Guardian have reviewed the program, and they say it doesn't dig very deep. Now, I have a huge problem with the Metropolitan Police in my own personal regard, but I think the cases of Daniel Morgan, the cases of Ghislaine Maxwell not being arrested in the 1990s by them, along with Jeffrey Epstein, over incidents that occurred in the Mews House in South Kensington, in Stanhope Mews East. This situation of this Metropolitan Police this program clearly does not delve very deep, they say. They say, while the Metropolitan Police's recent difficulties are acknowledged in the introduction, allegations of institutional racism, misogyny, and homophobia aren't foregrounded in this series opener. Yes, what about that horrible Grinder serial killer? And what about all those other things where they failed to act? Shame on this documentary. It clearly isn't good enough. The detectives we meet are responding to the stabbing of a teenager, investigating a sex trafficking ring, and dealing with firework throwing kids. They say hopefully subsequent episodes will dig deeper. Someone called Phil Harrison for the paper reviewed this. Phil Harrison is obviously a television reviewer for The Guardian. I really do think that the Metropolitan Police should be properly investigated, especially the woman called Cressida Dick. Now, Cressida Dick went to university and school with Ghislaine Maxwell. Cressida Dick's father taught Ghislaine Maxwell. This is a force that is unfit for purpose. It is shocking and it is wrong. There we go. I have nothing but bad to say of the Metropolitan Police. I will be next week attending the Metropolitan Police's Scotland Yard because I have a formal complaint to make against a police officer who has done nothing to help me in an incident that I am dealing with. So let me see how they handle that. I will not be tolerating the Metropolitan Police's misconduct in my matter a moment longer. I am bored to tears and I am sick to death of the Metropolitan Police. They are useless. The Essex Police, they are also useless. They do nothing to help the Lubbock family who are victims, and they have lost a member of their family to a murder and rape that occurred at the home of Michael Barrymore, a dreadful piece of toe rag. There are the cases of other people. The case of Omar Benguit, who is Dorset and Hampshire police, or whatever they're called down there. He's been in prison wrongfully for so many years. Disgraceful. I think we need to call out these terrible police forces when they do no good. But the Metropolitan Police, look at the number of incidents of murder. The case of Sarah Everard, a poor woman who went for a walk and got dragged into a car and slaughtered by a Metropolitan Police officer. How monstrous and evil was that? He was one of the most evil pieces of rubbish on the planet. That disgusting man kidnapped that poor woman, an innocent, lovely woman, and then women went to protest. Even the Princess of Wales, the former Kate Middleton, went to the protest to support those people, and those poor innocent women were attacked by the Metropolitan Police officers and dragged away like dirty criminals when all they were doing was trying to express their rightful opinion. Now, I think this Metropolitan Police force is shameful. It is jolly well time that somebody was sent in to clean them up. In America, in New York, when Rudy Giuliani was actually a good man once, he sorted out criminality in New York, but he cleaned up the police force at the same time. It is jolly well time that we cleaned up our most senior police force in Britain. The Metropolitan Police is unfit for purpose. Shame on you, Rishi Sunak. And Rishi Sunak is supposedly at the bottom of the polls, and there are letters coming in thick and fast to get rid of him. Now, as much as I dislike Rishi Sunak, I don't think that is the solution personally. My personal idea here from my fireside chat, it is a fireplace behind me, is that we don't need another Conservative leadership election. We need a general election. Bring on the general election. I know we will get the monster, the menace that is Keir Starmer. I don't like the man. I don't want to support the man, but we need a change. We have to move on from this era of the feckless Conservative Party that is not conservative. I listened to a very interesting Radio 4 program today about Robert Peel and the reform of the Corn Laws and how, comparing him to Boris Johnson. Very, very interesting radio program. But seriously, all of this is nonsense. This country, Britain, I'm not in Britain right now, but the country I'm from, Britain, needs to have a change. We need to change what's going on. We have had enough of this. The con artist Tories have had it too good for too long. Get them out, chuck them out, throw them out with the bin bags and the rubbish that they are. The likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg, disgusting, a man who gets £750 an hour to be on GB News when he's meant to be an MP. Why is he not representing his constituents? This man is a selfish piece of rubbish. He is someone who should be thrown out with the detritus. He is disgraceful. Shame on you, Jacob Rees-Mogg. You are an absolutely appalling individual, utterly reprehensible and rotten to your core. I don't like you. Jane Griffiths wants to vote for reform. I don't know who we can vote for, but I will not be voting for any of these people. But the only way I can vote is to vote tactically. I urge everyone to vote tactically. In Broadstairs, I shall have to vote for the Labour candidate because that is all I can do. I don't agree with the Labour candidate on many issues, but she is the only one who can get rid of the cheap version of Boise that resembles Craig McKinley, another terrible MP who does nothing for his constituents and is never seen in his locality. In Kensington, vote for anyone other than Felicity Buchan, the local drunk who should not be seen in any local bar. You know, she used to be down the Brasserie and she would be always going on about how she loved Theresa May. Strange how she then loved Rishi Sunak and also everybody else. And she seems to flit around with the wind like the ghost of, Christmas past. She is one of the top hits. She will be one of the first to go. So Felicity Buchan will be out in Kensington, I'm sure of that. So to not put a finer point on it, it is time for change in this once Great Britain. Britain was a lovely place, and the era of Margaret Thatcher and, even Tony Blair. Come back, Tony Blair, all is forgiven, I would say. I know many of you won't agree with me, but I preferred Tony Blair Britain to this monstrous Britain. This is the worst kind of Britain on the planet. There you go. Michael Fabricant is an absolute joke, says Joe McIntyre. I totally agree with you. Leaky Land says, we have Theresa Munt. I don't know Theresa Munt, but I don't know her. But there we go. Rachel Jones has said, I will never vote for 30p Lee again. Well, 30p Lee is the utter scumbag of the whole lot, an ex-Labour person who decided to defect to the Conservative Party, and then he hangs around on GB News with all the other scumbag right-wing trash that hang around on that load of drivel. Send 30p Lee, the man who tells ordinary people they can live for a family on 30p a week. Deranged. He is off his merry rocker. He needs locking up in the asylum urgently. I really have no time for 30p Lee. There we go. Your MP is Robert Buckland. I don't know much about Robert Buckland. I've heard his name. I don't know if he's done anything particularly bad, but Therese Coffey, yes, the Minister for Rural Affairs. She eats and drinks her way around each food product launch. Yes, she's rather a fatty, and she is always chomping on a cigar, and she's clearly a very unpleasant piece of rubbish. No, we would not want Therese Coffey back in any kind of coffee. Let's pour her into the Nescafe where she belongs. That's the cheaper level that she's from. Awful. Your MP is Richard Graham. Well, I don't know anything about Richard Graham. I cannot possibly comment. Now, there we go. They have no real clue about real struggles. They live in a privileged bubble, says Busted. I totally agree. Awful, dreadful people. Angela says, we have a Conservative MP and he doesn't do bad. Well, I don't know who your Conservative MP is. There are decent Conservative MPs out there. I don't have a problem with all Conservative MPs. I've met many decent Conservative MPs over the years, but there aren't many left currently. That is my current problem. The old ones were much better. I get on perfectly well with Victoria Atkins. I grew up knowing her when her father was an MP, and he was a very decent MP, and he was an MEP also. And the Atkins family are very decent people, and I obviously knew the Aitken family. Um, I know many members of that, and Jonathan Aitken was a very good MP when he was the MP for Broadstairs. Even my Labour supporting friends tell me that Jonathan Aitken represented them well. He helped them with their problems. He was a decent constituency MP. This lot are just a bunch of chancers, grabbers, graspers, greedy, and they are gruesome. They are disgusting and they are detritus and they should be thrown out with the rubbish. And that is what I have to say. Angela has Craig Whitaker, the MP for the Calder Valley. I don't know anything about Craig Whitaker, the MP for the Calder Valley, but he has made no impact in my world. But Angela, if you like him, that's fair enough for you. Anna Perkins says we have the loony MP Lucas, fortunately stepping down at the next election. I don't know who Lucas is, but there is a woman in Brighton called Caroline Lucas, if I recall, who is the Green Party MP. But there we go. So we're going through this list. Oh, yes, it is Caroline Lucas. I was spot on, yes. There we are. Michael Fabricant needs a new wig. His family needs to tell him. I don't know if he has a family. I think he has a friend. A curious kind of friend, obviously, in his case, because who'd want to be friends with him? He's a freak. He's absolutely weird. Creepy beyond belief. Rachel would like to know if we're having a quiz. Well, we can have a quiz later if someone shows up to help me with the quiz, but we're not quite ready for the quiz quite yet. Jake Berry. I don't know much about Jake Berry, so I couldn't comment on him. But there are 650 MPs, so I can't comment on all of them. I have heard of Jake Berry, but I don't know much about him. I don't think he's made much of an impact on anyone's life, so let's throw him back out with the bathwater. He's totally irrelevant. Lucy Wallace says, are the Brummies in here tonight? I'm here. Well, I've never actually been to Birmingham, but thank you very much to you coming to support me from Birmingham. There's no reason I haven't been to Birmingham. I've driven around it, but I've never been to it. But there we go. Lily will offer to tally the quiz again, but well, we're not quite ready for the quiz yet, Lily, but if you will be willing, that's very kind of you. There we go. Absentee MPs for the excess deaths. Shame on those absentees, says Anna Perkins. There we go. Well, we will be ready for our quiz in a little while, but in the meanwhile, there are things to talk about other than MPs. I think we've done enough on MPs. So you are welcome to watch that. Meanwhile, today, Ephraim Hardcastle of the Daily Mail decided to talk about Jimmy Savile's relationship with Sarah Ferguson. Now, Fergie is somebody who you all know I don't like. And supposedly, it was claimed by somebody called Dan Davis, who was a biographer of the late Jimmy Savile, that he was asked by the now King Charles to help him rehabilitate Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, Sarah Duchess of York, after her toe-sucking episode. This silly woman, Sarah, Duchess of York, is an absolute moron. There is nothing more stupid in the world I've ever come across than this thick, feckless piece of junk who fails to answer my question. This woman, Sarah Ferguson, I have asked repeatedly one question. Sarah, Duchess of York, I doubt you're watching this, but if you are, have you ever repaid the money you took and the other benefits you took from the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein? Sarah, Duchess of York, it's time for you to man up, grow up, and show up and tell the truth. We need to know. The public have had enough of hearing about you and your stupid daughters. We are bored to tears of you and your silly ex-husband, the man who paid, allegedly, 12 million to someone he never met. Why would you pay 12 million to someone you'd never met? Very strange thing to do, that, isn't it? And why would you hang around so often with a woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was clearly a very wrong 'un? This is an absolute shocking state of affairs. But today, Ephraim Hardcastle for the Daily Mail said that Jimmy Savile claimed he'd boasted about sorting out the Duchess of York. I was helping Sarah not to get publicity rather than to get publicity, he told his biographer. The thing about it is I get things done. I work deep cover. This is how sick these people are. People don't realize I'm deep cover until it's too late. And Ephraim Hardcastle concludes, tragic, but most of his wickedness was in plain sight. So this woman, Ferguson, Fergie, is there no low that she won't go to? Is there no... She is utterly disgraceful. There is utterly appalling antics that she was hanging around with Jimmy Savile, desperate and deranged, but she is a dimwit. So dimwits generally do such things. And hello and good evening to the lovely Nav, and thank you for thanking me for your postcard. I'm glad it was received. It takes rather a long time, clearly, for postcards to travel from France to England. But to the Eccleston family who claim I'm actually sitting in Yorkshire, I am not sitting in Yorkshire. I'm currently sitting in France. So please do realise that I have sent postcards from a location in France. So to whoever you are, Eccleston troll, please stop alleging that I'm not where I claim to be. I'm not on the run. I'm not hiding from anyone. I don't need to hide from anyone. I will be going back to London at the weekend, and then I will be going to Broadstairs. So you can say whatever you want, you little troll. So why don't you bog off? Thanks, troll. Thanks a lot. Anyway, hello to Nav and to all the lovely other people who are leaving positive comments, especially the people who are leaving positive comments about the most wonderful Tara Palmer-Tompkinson. And, it's been 9 years, and the memory of Tara will be something, a great lady who was kind-hearted and decent, unlike the daughters of the convicted criminal fraudster Bernard Eccleston, a dreadful, dreadful con man who is a convicted criminal fraudster. So you can bog off with your nasty little remarks. Please leave me alone. Thank you very much. Rachel would like to go round and have a drink with me. Oh, well, Rachel, it would be lovely to have a drink with you one day. Paulie thinks that Jimmy Savile kept Sarah, Duchess of York, in his wardrobe. Well, if he'd kept her in his wardrobe, it would have been a better place for her, because she's of much use to the world as a chocolate teapot. That woman needs to be thrown away. She is the most appalling, grifting, grabbing, money-grabbing, grimy piece of grub that I've ever come across. Stupid, deranged woman. She is of no use to the world. I have no time for the grubby, grimy Duchess of York. There we go. Nav says we'll party the weekend away. Well, I hope so. Simon Coates says Eccleston was a terrible Doctor Who as well. Oh, well, there we are. Did Tara ever frequent the Pigalle Club? I'm sure she probably did, but I haven't been there with her, no. The last time I saw her was in Theo Fennell's beautiful showroom, which is no more. It's now an empty space, but there we go. Will I be leaving out sweets for the horrible children who knock on your door trick-or-treating? I turn off all my lights. I cannot stand Halloween. It does not interest me. I love orange, and I've no problem with pumpkin soup. I love a bit of pumpkin soup. Delicious. But no, I'm not into Halloween. Never have been. It's an American phenomenon that's not fit for me. I am very traditionally English about this, not interested in it. No, thank you. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yes, a wonderful book. All your lights are being turned off. Oh, well, every one of you. You all seem to be anti-Halloween. Paulie will be giving the Halloween trick-or-treaters Philip Schofield's gin. Well, it's probably the only use that could be useful for it. I was told off earlier today by a very nasty neighbour. Down here in this place, they like rules. Some of these people are a little bit sticklers for rules. And this particular woman across the way, German, we won the war, by the way. I will say that. I love German people, have many German friends. But this particular woman, who has a very polluting yacht, which has an engine, complained that I put food in the water for the fish. And I love looking at the fish because I don't have my collared doves here and my parakeets and all the rest of the things that I have. So I fed the fish and she screamed, "No!" She got very aggressive with me, this woman. They're very odd, these people. I think that they belong in a mental, they perhaps belong in the Priory, perhaps the place for her. But anyway, no, I don't like people who are malicious. And me feeding some fish, a bit of vegetables, so what? They're rubbish. She pours in gallons of engine oil into the ocean. Disgraceful woman. Well, I hope to meet her on another occasion so I can give her a piece of my mind. But she likes screaming no at me and don't do this. And Lucy Wallace, you are right. Put her in a fishbowl. Yes, or Broadmoor, says Anna Perkins. Let's tell her to bog off. Yes, I should have done. She wouldn't have understood. She clearly was a bit thick in the head. There we go. Sally A says, tell her the civilized people of this world feed the fish. Yes, nothing wrong with feeding fish. It's lovely to look at them. And I have a friend in Broadstairs called Graham who sings karaoke. He loves to go catching fish. I have another friend there called Harry who doesn't like Graham catching fish. But I have no problem with people catching fish as long as they eat them. There's no problem as long as you eat it. I think it's important that you must eat the fish that you catch. But I just wanted to feed the fish because I like looking at them. So she is totally doolally, says Anna Perkins. Yes, well, I'll shout it out to her. You're totally doolally. There you go. I'm sure she's heard me because she was looking out the window, glaring at me only half an hour ago. Strange woman. Anyway, she's got a dirty, polluting boat, which causes more destruction to the environment than me feeding fish. But there we go. So anyway, we've covered that topic. I didn't imagine I'd bring up the topic of that. Now, the government wrote today about something that I am very concerned about, which is homelessness. This government of Rishi Sunak has caused the crisis of homelessness to rise yet again. Now, during Boris Johnson's era of COVID, homelessness virtually disappeared because homeless people were put into hotels. Now, I know in Broadstairs that one homeless person lived on the beach, but that is a different matter. But the majority of homeless people were housed during the COVID crisis. And now 157,640 families are homeless. This is 12.1% higher than in COVID. This is shameful. This is a country that can afford to look after people in society, we have rights. We also have responsibilities. Always look after those who cannot look after themselves. There are 104,510 in temporary accommodation in March, for example. The latest rough sleeping figures show it's on the rise. 444,000 children in the UK have to sleep on the floor because the parents can't afford to buy a mattress. This is a shameful disgrace. Rishi Sunak is a billionaire. Why doesn't he give some of his bloody money and support these people? This creep and his wife, they've had all their success out of our country. Why don't they help these people themselves? He should be held accountable. The Section 21 evictions are coming back. This is terrible. Greedy landlords pumping up the house prices. It is shocking. It's appalling. When in the first couple of lockdowns, I used to know an elderly lady in Knightsbridge. She was Russian. And I tried to help her. And the owner of the local restaurant, Adriano, a wonderful gentleman, he would give her food. And we all tried to help her. We don't know what's become of her now, but she probably has moved on in life, I would assume, because you cannot live like that forever. It's tough. You freeze to death. And this dreadful Rishi Sunak government allows, as Orsini says, the rich get richer and the poor have to suffer. That is exactly true. How can we conscience this, says Pennine Counties? I agree. We should not have homeless people of the numbers of 157,640 families in a country as rich as Britain. Nav complains and criticizes and says Section 21 is good for honest landlords like me. I currently have a tenant living rent-free for the last 8 months. Well, Nav, I disagree with you about, I understand in your personal circumstance, Nav, and you are my friend, you don't want to have a tenant not paying rent, and I know of other people who don't pay rent, and that's terrible. But equally, I'm talking about people living on the streets. They should not be allowed. This should not go on. We need to prioritize, stop being Scrooge. This is terribly wrong and cruel that people with mental health issues are living on the streets. I'm not talking about people living in Nav's particular apartment. I'm talking about people who need to have a home. There are so many empty homes in Britain, these slumlords, and then these Russian crooks who have got mansions in Belgravia. Turn those mansions into homes for these poor ordinary people who cannot even afford to put their child to sleep on anything other than the floor. That is shocking and it's wrong. It makes me very upset. I think in society we have rights and we have responsibilities. And this is why, I don't like people like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, because they don't understand the concept of rights and responsibilities. But equally, we have to understand that we need to look after those who should and could be looked after. Yes. Nav says, I agree. We need all a home to live in. Rishi needs to pull his socks up. Well, Rishi needs to actually wear a pair of trousers that's long enough, actually, frankly, Nav. His suits are absolutely appalling, completely tacky and wrong. Now, I'm going to move on to someone who I will criticize. Now, in Broadstairs, there has been a scammer, a dreadful woman. Her name is Nicole Elkabas. Now, Nasty Nicole has used the money, according to Kent Live, of kind strangers for pay to trips to Barcelona and Rome, a box at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. She faked cancer. Now, my grandmother died of cancer. My aunt died of cancer. I've suffered a lot with people who've had cancer around me. A lot of other people I know have had cancer. And this creepy, dreadful piece of scum, Nicole Elkabas, pretended she had cancer and then demanded £45,000, which she took in GoFundMe donations. She's only been ordered to repay £5 because she's got a gambling addiction. She even used a picture of herself in a hospital bed. She spent the money on holidays to Barcelona, Rome, gambling, a box at Tottenham Hotspur. She claimed that she had ovarian cancer, surgery, grueling chemotherapy. Prosecution said it was detailed lies, and Alcabasov, who was then 42, of Edge Road in Broadstairs, appeared in Canterbury Court. She was jailed for 2 years and 9 months. Well, disgraceful. This horrible woman is wicked and evil. She has cheated everyone. How dare she? Because that is harmful to so many others. And they said, oh, poor woman, she was in the grip of a gambling addiction. Well, I don't care about her gambling addiction. I like to bet on the horses. Doesn't mean I go out there and pretend I've got cancer so I can get some money out of someone to pay for it, does it? Shame on her. She has proven to the world that you can con people and get away with it. Help the homeless. Do not help Nicola Elkabas. Now, when Nicole, if she's out of prison by now, I don't know. God only knows. But I was told about this only today. She is a piece of filth. Lock her up and throw away the key. Now, today I've also read of a very rich man who I also happen to know, Sir Martin Sorrell. And the Guardian have been very critical of his business. Now, Sir Martin is somebody who I've always respected. I think he's a genius. I think he's absolutely brilliant in many ways. He's had a lot of controversy. He's also had a lot of trouble with his ex-wives. I've known both of them. And, the Guardian are being very unfair, I think, in criticizing him in the way they are. The world of advertising is changing. Advertising is collapsing. I have a publication. It's very hard to deal with advertising. Now, the allegations about Sir Martin in the past to do with things he did in Shepherd's Market, well, that's that. That's the past. And the situation with his first wife, Lady Sandra, and his second wife, Lady Christina, who I knew both. And I have to say, Sir Martin Sorrell is the most amazing man I've ever come across as a dynamo in business. He's inspirational in terms of business, but I think the Guardian are saying, he's in tatters. That's a load of rubbish. This is a man who, has companies that are worth 5.2 billion. This is one of his companies. This man is a huge success, and I think that it is unnecessary and wrong to attack somebody who has provided for hundreds of jobs. Yes, there have been problems along the way, but please, I think the Guardian, I love the Guardian. I read the Guardian every morning, but I think you are just trying to have a pop at somebody who's actually an achiever in life. And Sir Martin Sorrell is not a bad businessman. He is a good businessman. And I think he is somebody, Mark Sweeney, you should say sorry to. I think your article is wrong, and it is something I do not approve of. And I support Sir Martin Sorrell, a wonderful gentleman, businessman. And yes, I will get shot down if I'm proven wrong, but I think that Sir Martin Sorrell has done a lot of good for the world. There we go. What do I think about the Everton chairman, Bill Kenwright? I did not personally know him very well. I have encountered him. He was a very pleasant gentleman when I encountered him. I could not say I knew much about Bill Kenwright, but my condolences to the family of the late, great Bill Kenwright, a decent gentleman, clearly. As for Coronation Street, no, I think I felt like I was in Coronation Street earlier when this woman started moaning about me about feeding the fish. Should chuck her down the local pub. Andrea Bono says this person called Gertie Rude. Yes, I've heard of Gertie Rude. Not even worth considering. Trolls of this nature, if they wish to spend their life attacking me, good for them. What on earth can they? Surely they could find someone more serious to attack. I'm not even famous. I'm not even infamous. I'm not even up there with the village idiot, as far as I'm aware. So Gertie Rude can bog off and do one. Yes, please. Yes, Kenwright was in Coronation Street. There we are. I don't know much about it because I don't watch Coronation Street, so I'm afraid I can't possibly comment. There we go. So I don't know if one of you is ready, Lily, to do this quiz. If you're ready, we can perhaps do this quiz. Gertie Rude is a clown. Well, it looks like I haven't got... Oh, Lily is ready to do the quiz. Right, well, we'll choose a random page. It has to be a random page. Right, we've done that page before. The problem is I need to get a new quiz book. And I certainly can't find one in France because I went to a local bookshop here and they had 5 books in English, and I can tell you they were not books I would wish to buy. Okay, I don't think we've done this page. So, question number 1. Question number 1. And Lily, I hope you've got your pen at the ready. You're the Debbie McGee for the evening. Have I seen any squirrels yet? I'm asked before we start. Not here in France, no. Rachel Jones will get me a new quiz book. Well, if you can find another episode of The Weakest Link, it would be very good. But this is the only one I've got. Question number 1. Which Hollywood star was born Archibald Leach in Bristol in 1904? Nobody seems to know the answer. Oh, we've got it first with Jamie Ann Curry. Jamie Ann Curry wins with carry ground. Jamie Ann Curry gets the point. Question number 2. How are the authors Lawrence Durrell and Gerald Durrell related? What a strange question. I wouldn't have asked that question myself. It's rather dumb. Bambi Debonair gets the point with brothers. What a stupid question. That is the most weakest link question. I'm sure Anne Robinson would never have come up with that herself. That is stupid. In question number 3, in the animal kingdom, the mandrill is an ape native to which continent? We just need the continent. Bambi Debonair is again storming into the lead now with a second point with Africa. Question number 4. In the nursery rhyme, what was Wee Willie Winky wearing as he ran through the time? The winner again is Bambi Debonair with nightgown. Oh damn! Right, Bambi Debonair is so quick. You'll all have to hurry up. You've got to have your fastest finger forward. Question number 5. Girls Just Want to Have Fun was which singer's debut single? It was not Madonna. Right. The winner is Simon Coates with Cyndi Lauper. Simon Coates gets the point. Question number 6. Traditionally, the sweet pea is a birth flower associated with which month? The sweet pea. It's not Barbara Woodhouse. The winner again is Bambi Debonair with April. Bambi Debonair is so quick. None of you seem to keep up with her. Question number 7. Which Emily Bronte novel was made into a film in 1939 starring Laurence Olivier? It was not Emma. The winner is Mellifera with Wuthering Heights. Mellifera gets the point. Mellifera. Question number 8. In ancient history, Memphis was a capital of which country? The winner is Anna Perkins with Egypt. Anna Perkins gets the point. A point to Anna Perkins, please. Question Number 9. In maths, which chart to show relative quantities consists of a circle divided into appropriately sized segments? The winner is Melissa Neal with pie chart. Pie, which is fine. Melissa. Question 10. Before he hit the big screen, Bruce Willis starred opposite Sybil Shepherd in which television series? The winner is Simon Coates with Moonlighting. Thank you, Simon Coates, for your winning entry. Cheers to you, and cheers to me, and cheers to me if we disagree. Question 11. In which Russian city is the famous Hermitage Museum? This is not Moscow. It's not Peckham. Anna Perkins wins with St. Petersburg. Anna Perkins gets the point. Question 12. Which Tennessee Williams play was made into a 1958 film starring Elizabeth Taylor and Paul Newman? Anna Perkins gets the point with Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Anna Perkins is the point winner. Question 14. Which comedian hosted the year 2000 Academy Awards ceremony? It wasn't Jim Davidson. And it wasn't Ricky Gervais. And it wasn't Cilla Black or Russell Brand. The winner with Billy Crystal is Benji Do Wood. Benji Do Wood gets the point. Benji Do Wood. Question 13, which I missed, was in the human body, ossification is the formation of what? The winner is Bambi Debonair with Bone. Bambi Debonair gets yet another point. Question 15. The orbit of which planet lies between those of Earth and Mercury? It's not Saturn. It's not Mars. Elaine Harvey gets the point with Venus. Elaine Harvey is a new entrant to the game with Venus. Probably a bit late for Elaine to win, but Elaine is entering the game. Question 16. In nature, what part of a fly generates the buzzing sound? Bambi Debonair gets yet another point with wings. Bambi Debonair is storming into the lead, I would assume. Question 17. In which English naval city does the Hoe overlook the Sound? You don't seem to know the answer to this one. Bambi Debonair yet again with Plymouth. Bambi Debonair seems to know the answer to everything. Question 18. What is the usual French translation for the English word milk? Bambi Debonair gets it again. Oh well, Bambi Debonair is heading into victory. Bambi Debonair got that point. The penultimate question. What nationality is the Nobel Prize-winning author Gunter Grass? The first person to answer successfully was Simon Coates, German. Simon Coates gets the point, and Bambi Debonair got this one wrong. She said Polish, completely incorrect. And the final question, which 1985 John Irving novel was made into a film starring Michael Caine? It was not War and Peace. It wasn't Batman. No. It wasn't Educating Rita or the Ipcress File. It wasn't The 39 Steps. No, that's a film about Broadstairs, so no. And none of you seem to know the answer to this. It wasn't Blow the Bloody Doors Off. It wasn't Alfield, the Italian Job. Though it seems none of you know the answer to this. You truly are the weakest links. On this occasion, you are the weakest link. It was not Dirty Rotten Scoundrels or The Hunt for Red October, Miss Jones, Get Carter. No, it wasn't gin. You might need more gin. No, you don't know the name of it. Not one of you has been able to answer this question. I think we have timed out. You are all the weakest links. Anna Perkins has come to the correct answer with the cider house rules. No, there we are. Anna Perkins wins the point, but at the last minute. Anna Perkins can have the point at the last minute. There we go. So let us know who won, please. Lily, thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you all for participating. Bambi wins with 8 points. Anna is second with 4. There we go. I am still here in France. Yes, so there we go. Right. So thank you ever so much, and thank you for participating, and thank you for a delightful evening of chitter chatter and nonsense and whatever else we've gone through. But yes, there we go. So I hope that you will all enjoy your evening ahead. Good night. Good gardening. Don't have nightmares, as the late, great Jill Dando would say. Take care. Pip, pip. Bye-bye.